Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I am Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about music, movies, and.
Whatever we really feel like in the moment. We'll talk about movies. We'll talk about music. We'll talk about video games once in a while. Oh no, we're trying to just wing it here. Welcome to the show.
Alright, so today's episode, we're going to talk about the highly anticipated album by the one and only Nicki Minaj called Queen. And whether it actually lived up to the name. So I'm gonna give my grade, which is I'm gonna give it a B. I hated half the album. I shouldn't say hate. I wasn't impressed with half the album. There were a lot of good things there, and I just felt like there were times she was swinging and missing, and I was like, why, bruh? She had a lot of good bars. I don't hate most of her bars on this album. I actually enjoy most of them. One thing we'll say about the album, the production on this album is completely solid. There is nothing wrong. I can't see someone saying this album wasn't well produced. There's no denying that. Some of her singing, hit miss, depending on whether you can tolerate singing Nicki. But she is better than singing Drake. And speaking of Drake, her album is better than Scorpion. Putting that out there. Um, Her features were okay. I like maybe half of the features. And overall, out of the 19 songs, I really mostly enjoyed like the first 12, and then I'm like iffy on like the rest of them. So about almost half of the album, I was like, I don't know, but yeah, still a B. There's a lot of good stuff in here, and a lot of good potential that, in my opinion, sometimes went wasted. What do you grade this album, Michael?
I'm probably going to end up handing this one a B minus, and I'm really bumping up from a C plus, which I actually initially want to give it, only because what this album does right, it does very well. Every time that something hits you hard, it's like, yeah, this is some like Nicki Minaj shit that will like put it on top. However, this album was full of fluff. Um, there were some interesting songs on the album that I didn't think I'd like. Like when it first started, like the first 15 seconds I started, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be garbage. Then I ended up realizing that, oh, I actually don't mind this song. I don't mind Nicki Minaj singing in this song, even though like she sang the whole way through. Um, but yeah, I feel like there's like a lot of either like gray areas or your thing is just done right. So yeah, just go from either mediocre to and played out to done right and very respectable Nicki Minaj, very worth the wait. I wouldn't say the entire album is worth the wait, but what the album does do right, it does excellent, is what I will give it. But unfortunately, there's and like Shanique said, about maybe around half of it, and it ended up being kind of fluff, not necessarily lazily produced, but it's kind of weird that how people balance quality these days. Like you give us gold for one song, and then the next one you give us mud, and I'm like, whatever. So yeah, B minus.
Okay, Michael grading harsher than me. That's a first.
No, it's happened before, just especially with Kodak. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, you were just disrespectful. All right, he said he's greater than Tupac. Put respect on his name. No, I'm like,
I gave the album an F, right? I hope I gave him an F. I'm
yeah,
pretty
you
sure I gave him
did.
an
Yeah,
F.
you did.
I think he's the only no maybe Migos. I give Migos an F. I don't think
Yeah,
I gave Migos an F. I
you
give
gave them
either
both.
a D or probably the only two Fs I've ever done on this podcast. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah, that Migos album was like, if I had the name worst album, Migos. But
Oh,
at least for 2018, because Kodak wasn't this year. Even though, in my opinion, Kodak Black was better than that. So let's.
wow.
Yes, that's how bad Migos was. That Kodak Black's album was better.
I honestly think Kodak was worse, but it's just me. For 2018 at least, so whatever. Kodak was last year. You're right.
All right. Getting into our top three. Oh, before I do that, make sure you share our podcast, get the word out, and hit us up on Twitter, Echo You Podcast. So, top three. My number three goes to Ganja Burns.
Really
Yes, I
interesting.
it honestly. Here's the thing: the beat is so good on this record. Like I thought the beat was excellent. I don't know who produced this specific song, but it was really good. Her flow was solid. I liked her singing on the chorus. I like she talked about being celibate. She said I ain't giving up unless he king status, and I was like, all right, I hear you on that. She had very good punchlines. She said at least she could say she wrote every rap she spit, and I was like, all right, taking subtle shots, even though I know that's a Cardi B thing because Cardi B got exposed for having a ghostwriter. Um, Very good fun song. Her singing actually really helped the song. And the only singing I didn't like was that weird shit at the end of the song. I was like, Nicki, that was not necessary. But 99% of the song was hot, so yeah. Ganja Burns. What do you think of Ganja Burns? Unless it's in your top three.
No, it's definitely not because it's actually one of the songs where I'm like in the kind of gray area for. I was a little conflicted because I'm gonna start with some of the bad things I found about the song. It's like it did drag on for a little bit at the end. I think you already covered that already. But the dragging on the end, I wasn't really a big fan of, and it for a first song, it didn't really like pull me in. But it was interesting. And another thing too, like I'm not even gonna say it's a bad thing; it's a regular comment. But I found it funny that Lil Wayne was on the album, and also she did the Lil Wayne thing here, where like you hear the lighter flicking, and then like like an inhale of the weed or whatever the hell she's smoking on, because apparently she was like it sounded like she was doing the Lil Wayne thing where she's like getting high in the studio while singing or while rapping or whatever. But it was cool. Good things about this song is that a lot of it, like Shanique said, was really self-positive. It did come off pretty good. It wasn't like one of those go hard Nicki Minaj raps or nothing like that. And the singing wasn't horrible. It wasn't necessarily like something I really cared for, but it didn't distract me. And that's saying a lot for Nicki Minaj because she's not the kind of person who's singing I'm really fall for. However, I will be reversing my opinion on her singing in one of these songs later in this album because I actually thought it was really good.
Alright, so what is your number three?
I'm gonna go ahead and get this out the way. Um, I'm gonna give Chun Li because everyone knows what that one is. I still think that's one of the best ones on this album, even after going through everything. I think Chun Li was dope. I still think it's one of the catchiest ones. I understand why it came out as a single. Not really much I can say about it. You guys have probably heard it by now. It's a good song.
Bitch, I've been. No, I'm playing. Um, it was. Yes. To me, what sells Chung Li is the beat. The beat
Really?
is. Yes. It's not her lyrics. The lyrics are trash. But they're fun. They're kind of fun. But if you actually listen to it, she repeats a lot. So it's very repetitive. But it's so catchy you don't care. But the beat is the best part of Chung Li. And the chorus, which is kind of stupid when you listen to it. But it's such a, Chung Li is such a fun song. And the only thing that I wish she would stop adding unnecessary singing parts. Because I'm so used to, I guess the radio thing is unnecessary too because I barely hear the singing part at the end of Chung Li. I barely hear it on the radio. Like they cut it off normally before she starts singing. And I was like, but Chung Li was my honorable mention of this on this for this album. But I just don't like that little singing part she does at the end of Chung Li. I feel like it's unnecessary and it makes the song longer than it needs to be. But like I said, the chorus and the beat makes the song. Not really her bars. Her bars aren't really that good on this record, and she repeats herself a lot. But it's a fun song. So just for the way it produced and how she sounds on the record, I think it made the song better than it probably actually is. Let's go into my number two, which is Majesty featuring Eminem and Labyrinth. Now, I like that it started. Labyrinth has his own beat on the chorus, which I thought that was actually pretty cool. And I only heard like maybe 3 or 4 songs by him. He's a British singer, so I was like, cool, let the Brits in. It's very cocky. The production was really good. Eminem, this is the only thing I will say that only brought it to number two for me is that it feels like an Eminem song featuring Nicki Minaj instead of the opposite. To me, he stole the song. But she was good on it too. But I mostly like this song for Eminem. I'm not gonna lie about it. His verse was amazing. I liked he did his slow rapping. I was a little iffy on the singing, but when he actually got into his verse, I was like, okay, cool. Um, Nicki's verse towards the end, where she had I had a lot of problems where she did this weird ending for some of her songs, which made it longer than it needed to be. And I think there was one song that was 6 minutes, and I was trying to figure out why it was 6 minutes, but that's later in the album. Um, she did this ending that I wasn't really a fan of, but it didn't ruin the song. So yeah, Majesty's my number two. What do you think of Majesty?
Majesty, I think, was a pretty interesting one, and I will agree. I have almost the exact same comment you have. Eminem being in the song kind of elevated it to the next level. Because first of all, the beat switch in the beginning, those like from I think the chorus to the verses, those were pretty dope. I did like that. I'm not saying Nicki Minaj's part was bad. I'm just saying Eminem's part was so dang good that you barely remember Nicki Minaj's part. Because one thing too, they gave him like a long stint in this song. Like he was here for a lot. He probably had the longest verse of all the features on the album, which in this case actually is not a bad thing. I wasn't really paying too much attention to Labyrinth. I mean, I guess he was alright. You know, wasn't really like a standout because there was already a spotlight on Eminem right here, and he did the thing in like he did in Rap God, where he just goes super saiyan with the lyrics, and like he's just going like fast forward Busta Rhymes type speed, and you just can't even keep up with him anymore. I don't know what he's saying, but I felt like it was fire. I felt it in my bones. And I was like, yo, dog, why would you come into my house and like damn near put your name on it? Like that don't make no kind of sense. But it's whatever though. This song is pretty much Eminem featuring Nicki Minaj, and it's pretty cool.
All right, so what is your number two?
My number two. There was a point in this album where I started to realize that I hit a slow patch, and then this song kicked me in the balls. LLC. I really like LLC because Nicki was going really hard, following a bunch of songs that, outside of Chun Li, weren't really all that. This actually was what I think the hype for this album could be based on as well, because I feel like the level of like OD hard that she went in this, and like, even the sound itself for the song, it was just like hip hop turned the knob all the way to the right. And like we're like, all right, yo, this is super hype mode now because we tired of all this like I'm gonna get to the songs later. We're tired of all this like weak shit on the album because I definitely had like a slow patch in this album. This one actually like brought me all the way back in. It was some new Nicki Minaj finally that I was like, okay, I'm completely sold on it. The bars and verses, excelente. They were fuego. Can't argue with it. And it's pretty much her going hard about like, yo, I don't pay niggas to come and write my shit, kind of like she did in Ganja Burns. So yeah, whatever was going on here, I don't know what she was sipping on before she hit this record, but it worked in her favor. I think this is part of the hype for this album, and I think that when people go through this album, they're gonna get stuck on this one for a second and be surprised by how hard it hit too.
Okay, so LLC to me, which one thing she kept doing that King Kong shit, and she did throughout the entire album. I don't like that. I don't like that metaphor. I want her to stop doing that. Besides that, she has a verse where it's just the fastest I've ever heard her rap. And like she went in and I can understand all her words. I'm like, yo, you actually spitting fire. So I will admit, her verse, I think it was her second one. I could be wrong. Or actually, maybe she did on both of them. I can't remember. But I know at least the second verse was so good. And to me, that makes the entire song. And I think it's the longest part anyway. So it was such a fun song. And plus, one thing I did like, the beat was lower. So you really just, the song is purely her rapping. So I respect that 100%. And this to me, it kind of definitely went with the title of Queen because she showed that she can actually rap. So I was very much cool with this. So LC was a good choice. Um, so what do you think my number one is?
I honestly am hoping that we both have the same number one for this one. And I'll actually be slightly salty if we do not have the same number one. Because technically my number one is two songs, but it's really just one song. I don't know. When you hit the song, it's like, whatever. Anyways, I'm hoping we're the number one. Is it Coco Chanel?
No.
What? How are you not sure? That song was so... Yo. Okay,
Okay,
I guess not.
well, I know you're number one now. Mine
Yeah,
is
obviously.
Barbie Dreams. 100% Barbie Dreams.
Oh, okay. I know exactly why you like this one too. This is a really good one too. I'll give you this one, but like, oh my god, man, Coco Chanel is the shit. Whatever, go ahead.
Here's the thing. Why Barbie Dreams is my number one? One,
I already know where this is going.
shut up. Let me have this moment. Let me have this. Thank you. One, the beat was so good. Two, she went in on everyone. And plus it's kind of a tribute to that Biggie song where he talks about dreams of fucking an R&B bitch, and he goes into all these people. And she kind of did the same thing. You know, she said she used to want to fuck with 50, but he wants to talk about power for hours. She took a shot at Drake. She talked about fucking with Young Thug, but he was trying on dresses and shit. Um, she took a shot at Meek Mill, saying that he's in her DMs all the time. DJ Khaled, she said, "Why am I listening to a fat nigga telling me what's eating?" Um, she was actually really rapping. She had really good bars. She had really good punchlines, but she was having fun. And I like that she played off the Biggie type shit that he did years ago. She does a switch at like almost to the end of the song. It wasn't really needed, but then she did that fast rapping part, so I was like, all right, so you saw different sides of her, and I just liked that it reminded me of such like an old school hip hop thing to do, and it's such a fun song, and it showed that she could rap, and to me, it fits the theme of the album so well that to me it deserves number one. What do you think of Barbie Dreams?
I thought Barbara Jeans was cool too. I knew exactly why you picked Barbara Jeans because one, and this is why I picked it for a good song on the album anyway. Um, she pretty much lined everyone up and just started going on the gun range with everybody. Like she just shot everybody down in like maybe a couple lines. It's pretty much about all these dudes who I think I'm not sure about the context of the song, but I think these are all like guys who are like trying to get with her pretty much, or like maybe try to like lay down with her or whatever. This is an excellent response because I don't know how serious she's meaning to do it because I'm like, there's not really like a playful way to say half the things you just said because you brought in you really just sort of called Drake a pussy and I was like, wow, that just happened in real life. I thought y'all was cool, but yeah, she pretty much like just went to target practice with everybody on this album. I mean, sorry, everybody she brought up, which I thought was amazing because apparently, like having a diss track for one person isn't good enough. You just gonna start doing it in bulk. Just get a whole lump sum and just do it all at once. And I thought that was gangster shit because that's not something you see often. You see diss tracks here and there, yeah, but you don't see nobody coming after like some of the biggest names in current hip hop anyway. And I'm just like, oh, all right, do you, Nicki? I ain't about to mess with that because I don't know what they gonna feel when they hear this song on this album. But hey, listen, man, she went in on y'all. I don't know how to put it.
She
She
was
kind of lit
mean
y'all
to
on
DJ
fire.
Khaled. Like she was
Yeah,
she was just mean to him. But and Young Thug, even though everyone know he be wearing dresses, but I just thought it was to me it just showed her talent, and it was such a fun song, and I just like the feel of it. I'm gonna talk about Coco Chanel since that's your number one, and then you can just spaz on your number one. But here's the thing. Coco Chanel featuring Foxy Brown, which I'm gonna lump it in with Inspiration Outro because
uh-huh.
it felt like an extension of that song. So I'm just gonna
Right.
lump the last two together. It was unexpected. It 100% was unexpected. I didn't expect them to do like a Caribbean type vibe, and everyone know I have problems with rappers who put on fake Caribbean accents randomly in their songs. I don't particularly like that. And that was part of the reason the song was brought down to me because some of the time when Foxy was rapping, I don't know what she was saying. I'm not gonna lie, but she sounded good. I actually I like Nicki's part more than hers, but it was a collab that I really like because it's so good to hear Foxy Brown again after all this time. The beat was lit. I thought Nicki was really good on the chorus and carrying the chorus. Foxy's second half of her verse was better than certain parts of Nicki, but overall, I think the collab was good. I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite song, but it is a good song. It's a surprising record. I don't expect it to be played on the radio or anything, but it's definitely a hidden gem of this album. So, explain your number one, Coco Chanel. Go for it.
I'm honestly surprised because one, I thought even outside of like the island beat, the beat actually did this weird thing where like there's like a primary beat and like a secondary beat in the song, but the secondary beat always changed maybe like every verse or two, and I thought that was really dope because it even carried over into the outro. Now the beat itself, both things there, they worked excellent for me. This like if I had one song I'm actually like hyped for on this album is this one right here. Nicki's verse, excelente. But and I'm surprised you said this too, because I actually when I heard Foxy Brown come in, because I do know that Foxy does have like Trini roots, but it's mostly a Jamaican accent. But whatever, I wasn't really too distracted by that. She went in. Foxy's not a name you really hear of too often currently. Like you'll know the name because like she had her time in the spotlight a while back. But like right now, when you hear Foxy Brown, you don't think that she's gonna be going in on a Nicki Minaj track, and I think it's a really cool feature to even have on an album these days. Cause like when you bring back some big female names from back in the day, and you can hear that they can still go in on shit like this, like it's like yo, y'all just been hiding your potential. Y'all just got rich and just stopped. That don't mean you didn't know how to do it anymore. Cause I felt like Foxy went in, and the inspirational outro or whatever it is, it's just part of this. I feel like it's just like one more verse. I don't know why the heck this album got delayed so long, and then this got turned into 1.5 songs for whatever reason. Like you could have put this verse on the end of the song and just called it a day. Because now when I want to download it on Spotify, I gotta like get both parts and hear it in order. So that's a little annoying. But like I said, I think the hardest beat on this album goes to this song, in my opinion. I did not think that a Foxy Brown feature would catch me so off guard. The island beat was okay for me, and the secondary beat switching was excelente. And I don't know, I can't have the song up anymore, guys. Like, listen, this is probably one of my favorite outros of the year right now. Like, and I'm counting both songs as the outro. There's no real point in me counting the actual outro as the outro. Both songs are the outro here. This is one of the hardest hitting songs in the album, and she said it for last. Completely fine with it.
Okay. I was surprised you went hard for Coco Chanel because, like, from what I've been seeing, people don't really like that song. But,
Other people.
but I think it's a song that grows on you. Like, I listened to this album more than once, and so the second time I liked the song more. Definitely the first time I was just like, I don't like the fake accents, but it ended up working. And you're right, Foxy did go in. I just thought the second half of her verse was better than the first half. So, let's rewind and go next song. Rich Sex featuring Lil Wayne. What the fuck? What the fuck? What's wrong with Lil Wayne on this track? He sounded sick and high at the same time, and I didn't know that was possible until I heard him on this track. And basically, this song, Nicki's like, yo, I like dick. Sorry, I like money more than dick. She's very cocky. She's like, I don't fuck with broke dudes. And Wayne was doing this weird mumble rap shit on there. Like, he sounded like he was Lil Wayne, but mumbling at the same time. I was like, please don't. You already mumble normally. Why are we doing this with more shit? Um, I like Nicki's parts, and I liked the chorus. I didn't like Lil Wayne's part. It was such trash to me. And that's why I was like, this song was saved by Nicki and herself, and she should have just did this alone. She didn't even need a male's point of view. So, my opinion, Rich Sex was slightly ruined by Lil Wayne, but it's still an enjoyable song. What do you think of Rich Sex?
I'm gonna start with Lil Wayne here. the more I listened to him, the less I heard, which is a really weird thing to say. Normally it's the other way around, but like I feel like the more he rapped, the worse his mumble got. Because it's not like he doesn't rap like this sometimes, but this time it just seemed a little bit more exaggerated, and I was a little confused to why. Like, he just came in sounded like he was stumbling all over himself, like he just walked into the studio drunk and high at the same time. Like, I don't know. It I was just a little confused here. It wasn't really my favorite thing because I do like Lil Wayne, but right here, not his best showing in my opinion. Now, everything else, the actual context of the song, not necessarily for me, but I feel like Nicki Minaj handled it. The beat was pretty punchy with the bass, and that's pretty much like the only really like saving factor for the song here. Cause I don't. It's kind of one of those things that kind of land in a weird gray area for me. I wasn't really. It's not really gonna be something I come back for to look at. But first run through the album, I don't really have a problem with it. But it's just not one of my standouts.
I definitely agree. This was a single, and I don't particularly know why. I guess because
Was it?
it had Little Wayne on it.
Oh,
I
that's
guess,
disappointing.
but yeah, I wouldn't have released this as a single. Next one, Hard White. I don't like the auto tune on the chorus. That's
Same.
fuck that shit. No, that could be thrown away. It's cocky again. Another cocky song. Solid beat. It's very commercial, and her bars were like decent, but it's not my favorite song on the album. I don't even think it's a memorable song. I don't think people are really gonna go back to this that much unless they overplay it on the radio. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's better than like I would say. Yeah, like this is the part of the album where not even actually this is not even a part of the album where I'm like, I thought that Hard White could have been better, but it's not a bad song. I just thought it could be a little bit better. What do you think of Hard White?
It's, you're giving it a pass. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give it a whole like take it off the album. Like I didn't really care for this song to be honest. Like there's auto tune there, and that's really the only noticeable thing I had. Nicki Minaj's bars. Let me stop playing. Her bars are fine. Didn't really care for the beat or the synergy between her rapping and the beat itself. Didn't really care for the context of the song because a lot of it was like like you talking about white being compared to dope and a bunch of other shit going on. But I'm like, it's just a dry song to me. I don't really know how else to put this. It's an ashy ass song. I got no moisture. I can keep moving.
Next one is Bad featuring Ariana Grande. I like Ariana Grande on the chorus. Nicki bars are kind of lame to me. This song is weak as shit and is also forgettable. Like I don't know why this song was released as a single, and this is why people are like hesitant about the album because I think she had better songs to release than Bed or Rich Sex, which is basically the same song. If we're being honest, it's basically instead of Lil Wayne as Ariana, and they have the same. It's talking about the same shit. Um,
Yeah.
and basically saying, "Hey, my pussy's so good," and then kept saying this over and over. But I did like the chorus. I thought the chorus was really strong and was sold the song for the most part. But when in terms of like lyrics and bars, it's okay. It's not bad, but it ain't great either. What do you think of Ben?
Um, Bad is a slower version of Rich Sex. It's just weird. Um, I'm not really too sure how to read this song. This is like they're both like combined attempt at being like sexy or something like that. Wasn't really sure how to take this because Nicki was trying to go hard and Ariana, she sounded like Ariana, but it was just not all that to me. Like I mean, I heard the song, I kind of just went through it. I'm like, okay, I guess that's there. More padding for the album in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah, and their side to side collab was way better than this. I'm not really a fan of this collaboration by them.
Yeah, they've had better songs together other than better songs together than this one. This one just I don't know.
Yeah,
Meh.
meh. Next one, Thought I Knew You featuring The Weeknd. Honestly, how I feel. She was doing that. No, I didn't particularly like that little break thing she was doing with her voice. And honestly, the beat was so good, and I liked the hook and the chorus, and I even liked the little hype man in the back towards the end of the song. But I felt the weekend was wasted on this track. He didn't do much. And then they wasted the beat too. Like I felt this track could have been better than it actually was. So I was a little bit disappointed. It's not a bad song. I just felt like so much potential was wasted on this track. What do you think of Thought I Knew You featuring The Weeknd?
You know, it's weird. I find this a little bit more listenable than the last song. I'm not going to like, compare the subject matter or sounds to each other. Like they were pretty different, but not all that much because it's the weekend. Um, Weekend, he sounded like the weekend. There's no real if you heard the weekend before, there's no real variation in how he sounded on this song. So and I tend to like the weekend here or there. He's a little hit or miss in some areas, but I tend to fall more on the positive side for him. So his presence wasn't all that bad, but it didn't really make the song too much different. Like even Nicki's parts wasn't really super sold on what she had to offer right here. So I don't know. I found it listenable, but not great. That's kind of where I'm like landing this.
Yeah, a lot of the album kind of felt like that. You can listen to it, but I'm like, it's not really that
Right,
good.
right.
Next one, Run and Hide. Now, this kind of felt like a song that would be on Pink Print. Because one of my favorite songs on Pink Print is I Lied. And I'm probably one of the few people who particularly like Pink Print over Pink Friday because it's more singing Nicki. But I felt, at least on Pink Print, she was talking about something. This one, she's actually talking about something, and I like her voice on the chorus. I thought the beat was really solid. And because it reminded me kind of I Lied, which is, given though I Lied is a better song. I ain't gonna lie about that. But it kind of gave me that feel. That's why I enjoyed the song. But this song isn't for everyone. I ain't gonna lie about that. Run and Hide. Depending on how well you can stand singing Nicki will determine whether you like this song. What do you think of Run and Hide?
You know what's weird? When I first reviewed this song in my head, I was like, "Yo, this kind of sound like Nicki is borrowing some of like Drake's kind of like tendencies in his songs." Because I could have swore to God I had like a same review for like a Drake song that I wanted to say for this one. Like it's Nicki talking about like trust issues and stuff like that. And like she's really like it's one of those getting your feelings kind of songs. But for some reason I don't know why, but like elements of Drake were just straight up in my head while listening to the song. Couldn't really get it out because she's kind of going into like this weird. I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. She was kind of going into this weird R&B mode almost. Cause like the pace really slowed down for this song, and it's really more of her like getting some stuff on her chest in like a definitely not Nicki Minaj way, cause it's a far cry from like say Barbie Dreams or whatever it was. So it's kind of interesting that this was on the same album. I will say though that I'm not going to be super impressed by the range of what she tried to offer, considering how different those two songs are, and compared to much other songs on the album as well. Yeah, this one was kind of just like a Nicki Minaj taking a page out of Drake's book kind of song. That's really how I feel.
I mean, yeah, it sounded more like her work back from it sounded a lot like something that would be on her last album. So next one is Chung Sway featuring Sway
Oh
Lee.
boy,
This is a trash song. Like, I don't know.
yeah, it's
I don't like this
garbage.
song at all. Sway Lee was like, "Why you here? You do nothing." And it's like long. I think this is the one that's like 6 minutes for no
Yeah,
damn reason. And she does this weird laughing shit. Like it threw me out. I'm like, what is this laugh? Sway Lee was like useless. Um, this song, if you're gonna title your album Queen, don't have this garbage on here. I would scrap this song. There's a couple, like I can go through a list. I would scrap like 6 or 7 of these songs and have this album be 12 songs, and then be a solid album. But Chung Sway, no, she shouldn't have made it. She should scrap it. I don't know what Sway Lee was doing, but even in my opinion, she wasted him because he could sound good on a chorus. Just ask French Montana. and unforgettable. Just saying. But yeah, I don't like Chunk Sway. What do you think of Chunk Sway?
You know, it's weird. I really don't like the song for two main reasons. One, I actually did not like Sway Lee at all. I thought his high notes were normally I think high notes by Weekend are sometimes really exaggerated. This was bad. His high notes were on the borderline of screeching to me. It could have been. I'm sure it's not my headphones. I was really confused at one point. I'm like, yo, this is like making my eyeball twitch. But yeah, Sway Lee, I could have done without him. I'm not saying he's bad because I've heard other things by him that I did enjoy. But this right here is a hard pass. Other thing too is the song definitely went on a lot longer than it needed to for no reason. However, now that I got the bad news out the way, I will say Nicki Minaj had a moment in the song where she turned all the way up, which was really weird considering she had Sway Lee on the track. Cause like Sway Lee definitely, I feel like didn't have any synergy with the track itself. But Nicki Minaj had this one verse where she was just turned all the way up to 11, and it was crazy. Like I think having being around Eminem must have been like I don't know, like an inspiration to do something like that. Because I feel like that's where she kind of got it from too. She sounded a little bit like Eminem in her earlier song. I think it was Majesty. Yeah, Majesty. Where like he was just going in, and she chose like a weird spot in this song to go in at the same time, and I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. She did it well. I feel like it's the only redeeming factor of the song, but it's not going to be something I come back to just for that one verse. I feel like it's a 6 minute song, and I feel like 5 of those minutes are wasted. So I'm not going to be tripping about the song for real. But yeah, I'll at least give her credit where credit is due. She did turn all the way up in one of her verses.
Definitely agree with that. Next one, Good Farm. I love this song actually. I'm not gonna lie. I actually really, I know she's not really talking about anything. It's very superficial, but I don't care. It's such a fun song, danceable, it's catchy, great production, and I thought her rapping was excelente. It's one of the best songs on the later half of the album because honestly, I thought she was strong on the first half than the last half of her album that I really enjoy. And to me, this was the last great song on this album. Obviously, we disagree about the last one, but this was the last good song on the album. And then the rest of them are like, nah, but
Really? Oh, interesting. I'm actually the opposite here. I actually do like the last half of the album better than the first half, but we'll get into that, I guess.
yeah, but good form, definitely a shining spot on the album. What do you think of good form?
I thought Good Form was a good follow up to LLC as well, because it come right after that song. It's definitely like the actual context of it is like this nigga needs to have a good form while he's eating her out or something like that, or something sexual like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. But she actually did sound good in it as well. She did go in hard on a lot of these verses. I'm glad it came. I think this is one of the. I think Sway Lee song. Was it Sway Lee? Yeah, I think other than the Foxy Brown song, and then Sway Lee was the only feature on this. Oh no, features coming up. I guess not. Okay, whatever. But yeah, Good Form was dope one to follow up LLC because I did start to have a dry spot between like Chun Sway, Running High, Thought I Knew You, Bad, and I was like, oh boy, it's bad. But LLC and Good Form and Chun Li definitely like took up like a lot of the slack from the album. I was like really falling asleep on it. It the context is a little dirty. That's completely fine, but it's starting to like wake up a little bit in this part of the album.
All right, next one, Nip Tuck. Um, this is another return of singing Nicki. I didn't mind her singing, but this song is low key whack. Like I know it's whack, but I can
Oh,
still
it's high
listen
key
to it.
whack for me. It's high key whack for me.
The chorus is the best part of the song, to be honest, and I did like that the rap part at the end. But that's about it. I wish she was more like the end of the part with the rapping throughout the entire song, except for that little last minute or so. But yeah, Nip Tuck, nah, bruh. Sorry, throw it away. I wouldn't have put this on this album. I would have chucked this completely. What do you think of Nip Tuck?
The song is pretty much about like cutting dudes from her life, but I would have cut this song the same way she want to cut this dudes from her life. I don't know what's going on here for real. She had three good songs previous to it, and then this one, it's not like a slow pace one, but it's definitely like something that I could definitely miss out on. No real standout features to me. Even like the rapping verses to me were kind of weak. And I might only be saying that too because like for the previous three songs, their rapping was really strong, and then this one came in and kind of like took the momentum out of that. So I'm a little disappointed that that one just kind of ruined the flow I had going because I was on a good streak. And yeah, I don't know. Cut this song. This is a song I agree with Shanique. I would cut.
Next one, Too Lit, Too Late Interlude. And it does not match the title at all because it's not lit. And it's definitely too late to hear this shit.
I thought it was
Please
too
cut
little,
it.
too late.
I'm pretty sure it's too lit, too late. But I can double check myself.
Oh no, it's too late. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm tripping then. All right, too little, too late.
But yeah, no, no, no. Just no. I'm at a point of the album, I don't want to hear fillers anymore. I want you to end the album strong. And no to this damn interlude. It's only a minute, but I want the minute of my life back.
Yep,
What do
kind
you
of there
think
with you.
of Too Lit, Too Late?
I feel like it potentially had a chance to like be something good, but I feel like if she actually did something with it, it would have been like one of them singing songs. I'm like, that'd have been a waste anyway. But yeah, this is more album padding. Nothing stand out about this. Not like Kelly Clarkson, her 1 minute song that was freaking. It's a freaking tease to an actual real song that will probably never really even exist. But whatever. This song is the actual bad version of using one of those 1 minute interludes or intro outros. It's just a waste of space here.
Definitely agree. Next one, Come See About Me. Here's the thing about the song. I actually enjoyed singing
I
Nicki.
said the same thing. I said the same thing here.
Yo, I actually enjoyed her singing. This is probably the most pop song on the album,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed it. It was so different. It's not really a song on the radio. I don't think it's that good to be on the radio, but I actually enjoyed it. It showed she was very much diverse with this song compared to the previous ones. So it kind of threw me off with the placing of the song, but I really enjoyed it. What do you think of Come See About Me?
I don't think it might be on the radio anytime soon either, but I would actually hope so because this is such a. Normally, when it comes to like rappers and singing, there's only like a handful that can probably pull it off. And I feel like Nicki is not one of them. But this song kind of like made me take back my statement a little bit. Like, maybe she has hope. Maybe somewhere down the line she'll actually be able to like sing on her album without sounding like it's a misplacement of her talents or whatever. I thought it was great. I liked it from start to end. This is one of the songs I was talking about earlier, where it was like it started off with her singing. I was like, this about to be some booty. And then the song went through, and I'm like, oh my god, I think it's my honorable mention. So I was a little conflicted. It caught me off guard. It's a little, it's very poppy. It definitely sounds like it's like aimed towards like I don't know, like a younger female demographic too, with the context of it. But I don't know, man. I got a soft spot for this. It might. I don't think anyone else, other than maybe you right now, to be honest, might even feel the same way I do about it, because it's such like a weird thing to have included in the album, considering how hard the last like strong section of this album was. But it was an interesting spot. It's a pleasant surprise. I like when rappers come up with something so new and so out there that you don't even see it coming. I'll give her the surprise factor absolutely for come to see me. Come see about me.
Next one, Sir, featuring Future.
Meh,
No, no, sir. No,
meh,
ma'am. I don't like this song at all. And
meh.
like, I guess she was trying to do that, like she kept saying "sir" after all her punchlines, which led to another punchline. I actually like that little part, and that's about it. Future is trash on this song. This was probably one of the worst he sounded. He sounded pretty bad. Like, no, just no to Future, no to the song. I saw that she shouted out her tour, so if you're gonna see her on tour and she is doing it with Future, you will hear a lot of Sir. But no,
Which I
no.
feel bad about because I'm like, it's not a song that I even want to hear again.
It
So
It's lazy as shit, and it's kind of repetitive. It's not the best bar she had. She had a couple punchlines. I ain't gonna lie about that. Cause one thing Nicki always does, she comes with the punchlines and she has her metaphors, and I'm all cool with it. But no, not this song. Nah, bruh. Nope. What do you think of Sir?
I'm kind of there with you too. Not a fan of Future in the first place. This did not help change my opinion. I do feel bad that this is probably going to be one of those repeating things that happens on their tour. This, I don't know. It's one of them songs I could definitely miss. Definitely cuttable for me. I don't really got much to say about it. It's just not something I could definitely miss out on.
Alright, and then the final song we're gonna talk about is Miami. It's very commercial. Um, Very weak lyrics though. I don't care what anyone says. This is not strong lyrically, but I don't think it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be just a fun song to dance to, to party to, which I would not be doing any of those things to this song. I don't particularly like it, but I don't hate it either. I just don't want to hear it again. What do you think of Miami?
Miami, I think, has a really good chorus. There's not really much else going for it, and I think I'll agree with you here. I think it's mostly because the lyrics are just like really uninspired. It wasn't really. Granted, you said it's like supposed to be like a not necessarily like a banger, but like a just a feel good song to like be ambient and dance to, have a good time to. Maybe might even make a good spot on the soundtrack somewhere in the future. But like I don't know, as a standalone record, not very impressive. It's crazy though because I actually really do enjoy the beat of it, and on like I said on the chorus, I think it works its best. But the verses, I don't know, they actually pull the song down far enough for me to not even want to try to dig any deeper into figuring out any other redeeming factors here. That's pretty much all it has really going for it, to be honest.
All right, I think yeah, we definitely agree about that. So closing review here. My suggestion: 100% do not buy this album. I wouldn't buy this. But I do recommending buying maybe a couple songs. I don't think the whole album's worth buying, but definitely there's a lot of songs on here. Lots of strong, but there's good songs on here that are worth spending your money on. So definitely support the artist. And hey, if you're a big fan, take that leap of faith. You might like this album more than we did. That's all I'm gonna say. Michael.
I don't think this album makes her the queen that she thinks she is. I don't really think there is necessarily even a queen in the game right now. I think there's like a very small pool of female rappers in the first place, so I'd feel bad just like giving it to one person anyway. But yeah, what she does well, same as my intro ROM review here. What she does well, I feel, was done really well. She has a very strong lineup of good names for her features. Only problem is not all of them were very strong. Lil Wayne for some reason dropped the ball. I have no idea what to say on his part. Sway Lee, I could definitely miss that. But yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of songs on this album that actually could be cut. It's weird though, 'cause if you cut all the fluff out and got like a 10-song album, this would be excellent. Because all the songs that I actually liked, I really, really, really liked. And all the ones I didn't like, I was just kind of like, just toss it, yo. Like, it's a weird gray area song. And at least there was this one good surprise in the song. Surprise in the album with the singing that actually worked out very well. And I was like, all right, good. There is some kind of like surprise factor to the album that we didn't see coming. Nothing was like super predictable about that song. So yeah, that's kind of my final thoughts about that.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to say my favorite album by Nicki Minaj is still Pink Print, 100%. Still hasn't beat it yet. But so to close out this podcast, hit us up on Twitter at Echo U Podcast. You can also find us on many podcasting apps and all social media, all under Echo Underground Podcast. And we will see you guys next episode. Bye.
Yeah.